All right, good morning, trade pros. Welcome to our morning market update for Tuesday, January the 8th of 2018. This is George Pappas of Trade Pro Academy. We have company in the office today. Say hello. That's Justin. He brings the average age of Trade Pro Academy way down. I think we calculated the average age in the office now 25 with you here. With you gone, it adds another 2 years or so. And obviously, I'm the one that adds the most to it. So I'm what you call an impact player. Anywho, good morning. Welcome to the morning market update. Today, we're going to talk about a few things, mainly Donald Trump and his address tonight at 9 p.m. and what you can expect to hear. And in addition to that, we're going to give you some levels for the S&P 500 in the oil market and a few quotes around the global markets, and then we'll get started with our trading room. All right, so first and foremost, morning market fun fact. On this day in 1987, the Dow Jones topped 2,000 more than 14 years after it crossed the 1,000 mark. So think about that. It doubled in 14 years. And today, we close at 23,531. So if you just put $1,000 in since 1987, it'd be $23,531 today as a passive strategy. All right, so that's a nice little morning market fun fact for you. Let's get started by looking at Jay, he forgot his coffee. Let's get started today by looking at a few key levels in the S&P 500. First and foremost, we're seeing a nice resistance level at 2,580 overhead. That's going to be a level that we're going to gun for in today's session. We're solidly bullish in equity markets on expectation of a China and United States trade agreement, or at least moving together, warming up to the idea of an agreement. Remember, Donald Trump and President Xi are not meeting together. It's senior officials from their parties and their senior leaders that are meeting. So there's no real formal agreement. But Donald Trump and President Xi are set to meet in the Davos conference later this month. So there's excitement and anticipation, some kind of agreement between the two giant countries. All right, hang on. It says no video again. I think when you move the cable, every time I move the camera, it screws it over. Hang on, guys. 1 second. All right, it's working now. Look at that. What a nice back. What a nice back. All right, let's move forward. So 2580 is a good overhead resistance. 2571 is the first resistance level for today. And ultimately, 2592 is the second resistance level for today. So we get bullish and we start to run some more buy stops to the upside from short sellers that got stuck early on in January. We can see this rally continue. There is bullish momentum, and we are starting to get very close to some major resistance. So this leg up is going to find some temporary resistance at least, and markets may even stall out and consolidate around the 2580 to 90 level. That's the ultimate resistance on the S&P 500. All right, support for today's session is 2,564 down to or up to 2566. Anywhere in that range is a decent support level, and that's where we're going to target our first opportunity for the day. Oil prices are up to overhead resistance rather is at 50.54. That's the R2 level, and 48.86 to 49.10 is a great support for today's session. Just so you guys are up to speed, Saudi Arabia yesterday announced that they would cut their daily oil output from the November levels by down to 700,000 barrels per day. So that put a little bit of upside to oil prices, and they also said we want to see $80 oil. And Saudi Arabia has traditionally strong influence on oil markets. And whenever they say levels like that, it becomes sort of a peg and a naturally self-fulfilling prophecy. Now, I'm not telling you we're going to get to 80. I'm saying there's bullish momentum in oil, and at least for the time being, the short side is becoming much riskier than the long side on oil. So the energy market has energy to it. In Asia, Japan's up 0.8%. Hong Kong's up 0.2%. China's down 0.3%, and India's up 0.4. Strong gains across the board in Asia. Same could be said in Europe. London's up 1.1%, Paris up 1.4%, Frankfurt up 0.8%. And in the United States futures, the Dow is up 0.7, S&P's up 0.7, Nasdaq's up 0.7. So the U.S. futures are up the least amount, but the session hasn't formally opened yet. So we're opening on some pretty strong momentum here. I think early on, we're going to get a little bit of a fade off the open, and then that fade will be bought up, and we could see higher levels throughout the day. We'll be trading today with our live trading room like we do every single day. We're going to look for opportunities as a group on order flow and some advanced analytics. Today we have job openings and labor turnover survey. It's called the JOLTS at 10 a.m. And that's the biggest report. At 1 p.m., we have the result of a 38 billion three-year note auction. Fixed income traders, you're going to want to take note of that and be around for it. All right, Donald Trump this morning tweeted, economic numbers looking really good. Should I do it with the Donald Trump accent? I'm not good at it though. Economic numbers looking really good. I don't got it. Can you imagine if I had long-term zero rates, he said, to play with, like the past administration, rather than rapidly raising normalized rates we have today? That would have been so easy. Still, markets up big since 2016 election. So Donald Trump is pretty much saying, hey, you know what? The Fed's raising rates this time around. Obama's administration didn't have a Fed rate hike, has zero rates. So he was able to accomplish more. Interesting comment, interesting statement, and that puts pressure back on Jerome Powell. He's pretty much saying, Jerome Powell, stop raising rates. Today, there's going to be a huge announcement, by the way. Speaking of Donald Trump, he's going to address the nation tonight from the Oval Office at 9 p.m. All right. And he's basically filed for, hold on, there's a term for this. The White House made a request for airtime from the major news channels like ABC, CBC, NBC, and Fox. But if you think about this is prime time hour for them. And they're not obliged to comply. And we haven't heard who's going to broadcast or not. But around 9 p.m., you can even watch it for free on YouTube Live if you don't have any of those channels. It's going to be very important that you listen to this address tonight. I'll be doing it probably from the gym, or maybe I might stay at the office, see if there's any trading opportunities around it. But the expectation here is that Donald Trump is going to declare an emergency. This is his first speech late at night out of the White House in his whole presidency. So he's going to speak, and what the market's expecting is him to declare an emergency, a national emergency at the southern border in order to secure some funding to build his border wall. So the negotiation process didn't work with Democrats and Republicans. They weren't able to draft legislation they agreed upon. They agreed upon everything else other than the fact that he wants to build this wall. And he's not getting funding for his wall. He needs to do something. That's one of his key campaign promises, to build the wall. He even made people chant, build that wall. So obviously he's serious about wanting to build the wall. And by declaring a national emergency, he'll be able to secure the funds. This government shutdown, a lot of you don't realize this, there's approximately 400,000 employees at the moment that work for the government that are furloughed, which means they're not coming to work and not getting paid. And another 380,000 or so that are working for free and have officially missed their first check as of today. All right. Up to today, different agencies probably have different pay schedules, but they're going to officially have been working for almost 2 weeks, over 2 weeks now. They haven't received the paycheck and they're still at work. The promise there is that once the funding is secured, they back pay all of those paychecks and then all is well. However, we're just days away, I think 3 or 4 days at tops, of the longest government shutdown in history. Before, the record was 21 days or 3 straight weeks. And I think Donald Trump wants the wall, but also wants to get the shutdown over with, because he doesn't want to be the guy that had the longest shutdown in history. But he will be, because the wall is that important to him. So anyways, tonight at 9 p.m., that's coming out. There's going to be some volatility. It's more of a political event. I don't know how much markets are going to react to this news, if at all. And so I would suggest you watch it as a trader, just to understand what's going on. And you don't really need to be trading tonight at 9 p.m. Let's have a good enough day today that we don't have to be out there at 9 p.m. trading. All right. I can tell you this. I'm not going to be trading at 9 p.m. tonight. I just don't want to. All right. I don't have to. That's that. All right. So what we're looking for today is upside. But first, I think we're going to get a little bit of a sell-off. Early morning, I'm going to sell rallies. And if we see signs of a lot of buying pressure, buying balances, and order flow showing us that markets are soaking up selling inventory and pressing markets higher, then we're going to abandon that short idea very quickly and start buying into the rally. Okay, so today, the riskiest part is you might have to buy a breakout. You may not get much of a rotation down. You might just open up strong and keep going through the upside. I think there's a better chance of fading the open, meaning selling it and seeing a little bit of rebound to the downside. And if you haven't been trading for a long time, I would say don't fade. Wait for the sell-off, wait for some good support, and then get back in the direction of the trend. For newer traders, going against the trend is what's going to get you in a lot of trouble. And you don't want to do that. I always tell the newer traders, buy dips, sell rips in the direction of the trend. Do not fade. You want to fade when you have a good 2-3 months of solid consistency in your profitability. then you start fading. All right, because it's a whole different field, different ball game. Okay, that's what we got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the morning market update. You know what you guys are looking for. We don't really have major news other than the JOLTS, job openings, labor turnover survey. That's important. It's job figure. A lot of the news that was scheduled for the last couple of days, the next couple of days, has been canceled due to this government shutdown. So let's trade this. We're going to turn around, open up our trading room, and start trading. Also, this Sunday, coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern time, we're going to do a live Q&A session with me. So if you'd like me to answer your question, or if you have any questions you'd like to ask me, pop it into the video that is found in the description below. And you can go in there and write your comment, and I'll address the comments. I'll answer as many questions as possible. And if you're there live, I'll prioritize your questions. So if you show up live, I'd love it if you did, and I'll answer your questions one-on-one. It's going to be fun. Look forward to Sunday. You guys have a great day. Manage your risk, trade like a trade pro. Let's open up the trading room, make some money today. Ready to go, Marky? Marky's wearing his shirt. That's very inspiring. Mine's already got pit stains and stuff on it. That's what Victoria gets for buying us a white shirt. All right. Trade pros in the room. Let's mark out some levels for today, and let's get out there and make some money. I'll talk about the S&P 500, and we'll bring Steven in to talk about oil, and we're going to wait for the open and take advantage of the opportunities.